Jess on his right. Hey, hold up. Don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning. Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Good morning, Bakers. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday morning. Glad to be with you. Sorry for the delay. We've got a pretty special weekly dumb coming up for you guys. Ad, promotion. What's going on early on in the chat? Jill, Ian, Steve, Tap Out, Nick, Max Martin, everybody, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Let's talk a little sports. I think we normally land 45 to an hour, something like that. Have to do that again. Gonna go live with Chris Rose to talk some baseball before talking baseball. Flex. Friend. Trevor Plouffe still in Florida.
This guy,
what's your deal?
Taking vacations because he's done playing baseball.
What's your deal, dude? Enjoy your time with your beautiful family. BBD, speaking of enjoying your time, our Yankees suck. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But BBD, we like to start out with the game of the night. And it's a game of the night. It's also the series of the weekend. Man, the Dodgers and Padres linked up for 3, and they did not disappoint. Let's do yesterday's game. Trevor Bauer versus Blake Snell. How's that do it for you? Last year's defending NL Cy Young, who's now on the Dodgers, versus Snell, who also has a Cy in the bag. He was coming off a bad start. He bounced back pretty good, except in the second, Chris Taylor, 443. Like, what? How do guys do that? Like, Chris Taylor's their utility infield, outfield guy. 443 doesn't just happen. 2-0 Dodgers early. Your Padres fight back. Jake Cronenworth pitched a little bit earlier in the weekend. Two-way Cronenworth. People are talking. 2-1. In the 7th, Hosmer. Big RBI double. Machado scored. It's locked up at 2s. Snell went 5 innings, 2 earned run. Bauer went 6, 1 earned run. He was nasty. He was doing his Bauer beat the chest stuff he likes to do. But, man, a guy who gets overlooked on these Padres, he was kind of looked at as a bad contract for a while, and now he's just raking. Eric Hosmer again. RBI single to center makes it 3-2, and then Tommy Pham, Don Ursillo had the great call. You might have seen that on the interstate. Fantastic. I think he busted that out. When I can catch up on some of my DMs, I send a lot of thank you Phams and spell it Pham like Tommy. That opened up the game, 5-2 Padres. Melanson comes in for the save. Keone Kela, why didn't the Yankees sign him? He ended up getting the win in this one. Bauer, Snell, it's just really good brand of baseball, man. Hosmer, this is a stat. I think he's 8 for 12. Here's a stat for you guys. Eric Hosmer is 8 for 12 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Think about that. This season. 8 for 12 with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers record, unfortunately, goes to 13-3 with the loss. Padres go to 10-7. That was the game of the night. It was really the series of the weekend. The Mookie Betts catch, the extra innings game. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. The game of the night was brought to you by DraftKings, you beautiful people. And BBD, DraftKings this week, we're going back to my UFC. Remember when I was heavy UFC?
Oh, yeah.
It was concerning.
You jumped in pretty deep there because you were coming off the no sports. And even when other sports were back, it was like, yeah, but
UFC was the thing. UFC was the thing.
It took your heart.
And this was one of the fights that I saw, and now they're doing it again. Masvidal versus Usman. If you know anything, Bakers, I'm not an Usman guy. He's got the nickname Snoozeman. But guess what? Because of that, he started fighting more. And Masvidal is the man. They're doing round 2. UFC, what fight are they at? UFC 261. Pick either fighter to win. And we'll give you to 26-1 odds. Okay, that's pretty good, guys. $5 to win 130. Or a math pod. And if you don't do UFC, you know they've got basketball, hockey, our baseball stuff. The John Boy Kuiper still flying around. Go check it out at DraftKings. Promo code JOHNBOY when you sign up. Turn $5 into $130 if the title contender of your choice wins. Place the bets and watch the fist fly. That's promo code JOHNBOY. $5 into $130 if your fighter takes home the crown. Limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You must be 21 or older. New Jersey, West Virginia, or PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/bookbook sportsbook for details. Gaming problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Good morning, Bakers. I think we're going to be circling up on a few things. I'll continue to mention that I'll be live with Chris Rose in a little bit because in my head that's still really cool. And sometimes I don't appreciate that. BBD, how was your sports weekend? I know Yankees World sucks.
Yeah, but I did go to my first Yankee game Friday.
Right.
You went to yours Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with Zach.
You and Z-Man.
Met a few bakers. Actually, I don't know if they listen to the show specifically, but let's assume.
Yeah, we can pretend. You didn't get pantsed.
No pantsing.
That was concerning.
It worked out.
You saw stuff get thrown on the field.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty wild.
At the time, it didn't occur to me in the moment that, like, oh, they're probably purposely not showing this on TV so that people don't know what's happening.
Right.
Which, like, now it explains, like, Jimmy tweeting, like, hey, guys, what's happening?
Would love an update.
And yeah, it was pretty weird.
It's nuts, man.
Like, don't do that.
People from the outside world right now, and, you know, we've got some pretty cool connections in baseball, are saying, like, why are you guys freaking out? Like, you're smart enough to know that baseball is a long enough season that this is going to figure itself out. You're right, to a degree. There are just so many stats and numbers right now. I'm seeing Vincent in the chat. Worst AL East team against fastballs. I mean, they're not hitting fastballs. They have the lowest OPS in the league. The New York Yankees have the lowest OPS in the league.
They're built to be hitting first.
The defense is atrocious. Atrocious. It looks little league-ish. I mean, they're throwing the ball over. There was literally a fly ball yesterday that was caught and then thrown into the pitcher on the mound. Like, it's such a bad brand of baseball that it is concerning. It is concerning. Like, no, I don't think this continues all year. I don't think the Yankees finish the year with the lowest OPS in the league. But man, is it bad. Man, is it bad.
Well, last year, the biggest problem, yes, it was a weird year, but they had a lot of this kind of stuff where it was sloppy defense or just getting out on the base paths.
Yeah.
Or
They just don't care about the regular season. Like, that's kind of their thing in baseball. You know, they're not the Dodgers.
They don't have to worry about it.
The Dodgers, who just won the World Series, who, by the way, before they won the World Series, they traded for Mookie Betts, the best player in baseball, after they'd been
to
the kind of the
World
best,
Series
the general best
that.
team in the league for a couple seasons. You know, I just mentioned they're off to a 13-3 start after the loss yesterday. The Yankees, man, I mean, what have they done? They haven't been to the World Series. Like, yes, they got very screwed by the Astros in 2017, and they probably should have went. Still don't know if they won. They could have. Either way, does that matter at this point? I mean, it's 4 years removed. And it should
They
matter.
haven't gotten closer than that since.
It should matter to those guys. And it's really weird. We now that our reach has leaked into more of baseball, we see a lot more, and every other team has so much more fun, and it's just like youthful and jovial, and the Yankees have none of that right now, and I hope they get some of it. And it's just, what's it going to be? Is it going to be an early season trade? Is it going to be a firing? Do they have the stuff internally? You know, I guess I should save a lot of this for Talking Yanks, and we did a pretty tough emotional episode of Talking Yanks last night.
It's a good listen if you're...
Yeah, even if you just want to drink some Yankees tears.
Drink Yankees tears, or you're supplying the tears.
But, like, after I say all those words, like, how about Davy Garcia, man? It's 21, 22.
Could be this part.
Really good energy. Like, I hope it is something internal. Like, I hope the bat finds the ball a couple times. Couple guys get hot. You call up Davey. There's some good energy. But right now, man, it is bad. It is bad in Yankee land. So I get it. I get that baseball is a very long season, but we are closer to panic and problems than I think people think. So that's kind of what's going on there. Let's go back to Padres Dodgers because that's a little more fun. Man, so they played the first game Friday night is the extra innings game. It ends up looking like a worse final score than it is, 11-6. There was that one, we tweeted it out. It was Jake Cronenworth gives up sacrifice fly to David Price.
Price hits a sac fly to Joe Musgrove.
Caught by Joe Musgrove. And I think there was another like plot twist to it, but it's you put that one in the NL argument. Like, I get it. That is
one of
fun.
those games a year, sure.
That is fun. At the same time, it's kind of not. That was
It's still not worth it on the day-to-day level. Yes, that's cool, but
baseball's in a weird spot, man. I think Passan just came out with an article that said the league-wide batting average right now is 233. And I think, like, just to compare and contrast, like 2006, it was 269. So batting averages are down 30 points over 15 years. I mean, you're looking at 270s in the 2000s. Like, baseball's going to have to kind of do something. I know they're talking about it.
I mean, they tried to, like, deaden the ball this year to get more, like, balls in play, and then I think people smarter than me are saying that the three true outcomes are more than ever.
Yes.
Which, I mean, visually I can tell you that, although that's also me watching the Yankees who kind of just can't hit it all. So.
Right. Yeah, and it's still earlier in the year. I mean, maybe the bats will pick it up. The pitchers have been ahead, I guess, a little bit. But how I ended up here again was I opened up the Padres box score, and in that game, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pitchers in 12 innings. And that's just like a normal game now. Like, I get it. It's extra innings. And
it's a little bit what happens when you get late. But
God. And then they come back. They come back the next day, and the Dodgers beat the Padres 2-0. But, I mean, as good as it gets, Darvish Kershaw. By the way, Kershaw.
Still good.
I used to say some, like, half-mean stuff about Kershaw. I don't know why. I'm an idiot. He's incredible, man. Casual 6-inning shutty. Darvish 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. And in the bottom of the ninth, Will Myers reaches on infield. Single to shortstop. Profar walks. Wild pitch. Myers had moved up. And then the game ends. Cronenworth moves the runners over. Tommy Pham, line drive to center field. Mookie Betts with one of the best catches you'll see. they've got all sorts of numbers and stuff that they can measure stuff with. It was like a 10% likelihood that gets caught. 5-star. They've got a new star rating they use for some defensive catches.
That's a game clincher, game ender.
Game ender, and it's, for me, again, it ties into a little bit of like what's wrong with the Yankees. The fact that like Mookie Betts could play any outfield position. Hell, Mookie Betts could play second base pretty well. And he'd had no problem doing it. Like, the Yankees have star problems, man. Like, they have star problems. Like, Judge, kind of, what's up? He doesn't look 100. Could it be just an early start to the season? Yeah.
Like the Yankees could have started this year, and now it's prolonged and it's an extreme level of bad, but they could have started the year hitting very badly as a team.
Right.
And it not be like sounding the alarms, but they're not doing any of the little stuff. No pitchers have stepped up. I mean, the bullpen's doing everything they're asked to do, but they're taxed already.
I mean, the pitching would look a lot better if
the Yankees
were hitting a little bit,
to what you'd expect.
But yeah, it's man, as an organization, they just feel disconnected and not real. Like they, in a way, they still act like they're built different. Snort emoji. They're not. They're just not. Like, the Dodgers are built different because they have the budget. They operate as a really well-run organization, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, the Dodgers aren't slowing down, man.
Yeah.
Like, they have...
And they're at some point this year going to add somebody. You just know they're gonna.
They still have young guys doing it for them. They have, like, new waves coming up. Like, the Dodgers are going to be around.
They permanently
just
have
signed Bauer.
some dude show up.
Just signed Bauer. And the Yankees just, we're taking flyers on Kluber and Tyone, hoping something works out. Dodgers signed the Cy Young winner.
After they finally won the World Series.
After they won the World Series. After they traded for probably the second best player in baseball. And I don't know. There's a chance Tyone can be really good this year. There's a chance Kluber can be solid.
Tyone's flashed it.
But also, these guys not having pitched in a couple years, the bullpen has been good, but it's also getting used a ton. And it's like, what did we expect?
Can't last.
What did we expect?
And they didn't. And they came in with a worse bullpen, like just as
far as
total top end depth.
So the Yankee fears are real. San Diego Dodgers fans and baseball fans, congrats.
Britain injury hurts.
Britain injury hurt, but if you're a baseball fan, the next time the Padres and the Dodgers link up, get some extra sleep, take a nap.
If it's not at the same time as your team's game, you watch it.
Yeah, if you have a West Coast team, or you're a fan of a West Coast team, obviously watch them.
Yeah, you'll see those teams a bit.
If this is the late game, get in there, man. Clayton Kershaw's insane.
Yeah, I'll give you a little. Your half mean stuff. We'll cut you a little slack because it was that was before last season. That was in the original spring training, and what you said was never actually slanderous. He literally took a step back from where he was, which was the best pitcher of all time, and he was just still an all-star who was going to get Cy Young votes. But
and I guess a lot of storyline has changed, right? His starts against the Astros and stuff like that. He had that famous game that was what was there, no swing and misses or something?
Yeah.
It was 40 off-speed pitches and no swing and misses. And it was the Astros team that cheated? So, a lot of the storyline has changed around it, and his stuff did decrease to a degree, but it also hasn't. And I think...
Yeah, I don't know enough about his literal stuff, but, just looking statistically at, the ERA plus and, his FIP and stuff, it's just, around everything. His ERAs were great every year. And obviously these numbers are also good, but he went from, ERA plus in the 170s or much more every year. And in back-to-back years in 140 and 130.
And
which would make him the best pitcher on the Yankees right now, not named Garrett Cole.
And I do. He'd be the best pitcher on a lot of teams. And I think I also think the way baseball's developing around him, like, I think he can just mess around and get dudes out.
Yeah.
He hasn't given up a home run this year. That's what every hitter tries to do.
And the Dodgers play clean baseball around him,
Yeah.
so if he gives up a little more contact one day, more times than not, they'll make the play around him.
Kershaw's gross, man. And he's kind of fun, like the breakdown John Boy did.
He's still a fun watch.
Yeah, and he's like intense. Like, where's the Yankees' intensity? Like, Clayton Kershaw is screaming. What was he screaming? Was he saying that's horse shit?
Ish.
Something like that. He kept saying it over. That's a bullshit swing. He kept saying something like that over and over.
He's getting fired up in the April after winning the World Series.
Yankees got no
on a
fire
team
right
that has. I mean, the second they showed up in spring training, they clinched a playoff spot. But they're 13-3 now or whatever. Like,
yeah.
They have an amazing record. They're
we'll stay
doing well
out in the West Coast a little bit. I think I want to go to the AL. The A's have become a storyline. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They got off to that terrible start. Now they're back at it. Angels are still kind of winning games. The Mariners are on top of the division at 10-6. And that's, I wonder, I forget who I was talking to. Was it talking baseball? Was it talking Yanks? Was it just me talking into the ether? Sports moves quick. That's the whole beauty of sports. Like, you know, you look at a Yankees roster from 3 years ago, things look a lot different. Even same with the Dodgers. Like, there's still a lot of pieces there, but a lot
of the names that that casual fans remember.
A lot of stuff around it moves. It's like part of baseball's national problem is that there are a lot of moving parts outside of the main pieces. And then even the main pieces, you might only see them get 4 at-bats, blah, 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 whatever. Is that 2019, season ends. 2020, the world ends. We play the weird short season last year, and it's 2021. Like last year, it counts. The Dodgers World Series very much counts. Everyone had the same rules. The baseball was...
Everyone played that
The
season.
baseball was real. It wasn't like you were looking around the league like, oh, these guys stink. It was real baseball. It was good.
I was about to say the playoff format was still the same, and they did change it.
It did change, but hey, everyone had the same rules. Yeah. It was what it was.
Like the no off days in the middle there. Everyone played with those rules. It doesn't occur to me for a second to think, oh, it doesn't count fake season, whatever.
But in theory, think about this. End of 29, it's now 2021 now. Like 2 years in baseball. I know it's not exactly 2 years, but a lot changes.
2 off seasons.
You know, the Mariners have a lot of young guys. How much have those young guys gotten better in 2 years? Someone just said, I think they're a Yankee fan, and they said, completely, please stop talking about the Yanks. And yes, because it's miserable. But, and I do say this in an endearing way, like, Jay Bruce retired. The end of 2019, Jay Bruce was 32, still kind of hitting some dingers. Now he's retiring from baseball. Like, in those 2 years, I truly do wonder. Oh, I did this live with Coach Ballgame on Instagram Live last night. Like, what teams in those 2 years have changed and we don't know about it? Because there's so many young guys and developing, and it's like, is it the Mariners? I don't know. I don't think so. That would be pretty ahead of schedule. But it also could be. Like, that's baseball. They've got a ton of young guys. Mm-hmm. And if they all took 2 steps to get better.
If they're all, like, major leaguers, stamp.
I'm not saying it is the Mariners, but it could be.
A team like that could have, yeah.
They're off to a 10-6 start. The Kansas City Royals. A front office that empowered their team and made moves and also has a lot of young guys. Have they gotten significantly better since the end of 2019 with some ads, with some young guys? Right now they're 9-5. I don't know. Is it all fool's gold? Because it is still really early. I do get that. You know, The first week of the season, I think the Athletics were 0-6, and we did a whole segment on if they'd get back to 500 this season.
Yep.
They're currently
When they
9-7. You know? So I do get it, and I do think some of these conversations we will look back, end of May and say, okay.
It was early.
Things sorted out. And they still will. But, hey, also good on these teams, and I think that brings it to the other team that's kind of been the story, Boston Red Sox. Red Sox are 10-6. They're about to play an early game today. It's Boston Marathon Monday.
Patriot Day, is that what it's called?
They're playing the 11 a.m. game. Lucas Giolito versus Evaldi, I think. So, watch that. But, yeah, man, this obviously sounds dumb because I'm a Yankees fan. But, man, circle the Red Sox because their energy is great right now. They're pitching enough. And the lineup could hit. That was never the concern. But I guess the thing is, having watched the Yankees, it's kind of like, I don't know. If other teams are fielding the balls they're supposed to field, having fun, good energy, Cora's back, they're feeling that, I think you can ride that out a little bit.
Certainly lasts until Sale's back whenever he's back, and you have another, for sure, good pitcher.
But
Even if the rest fades a little bit.
And this is where the hot take
2
world,
good months and 500 the rest of the way.
The hot take world, doesn't like this because I just said how the Red Sox have good energy and they can hit and they're pitching enough, like they can be great. If the Red Sox have a 2-week skid where they go, 4-8, that wouldn't shock me at all. So, pump the brake. Let Yanks fans be miserable. Because, God, is it a bad product.
I mean, at this point, it's now been... It has been almost 3 full weeks. You dig yourself a serious hole. I ultimately think they'll be okay for the regular season, like gun to my head. But
I mean, it's still early.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Last thing I'll say about the Cashman speaking at 12:30. So
really,
yeah, I just
saw
that tweet.
That's exciting, huh? Reds are still off to an okay start. Giants, Mets are 7-4. Good for the Mets, I guess.
Yeah, and they had started with kind of a bad record, I think. So I mean, they just had so many games canceled.
They had games canceled, and then the rain out.
So I assume they might be are they on like a 5-1 stretch or something. I'm making up numbers. They're on some sort of good. They're looking good. They're happy. Stroman shoved.
Yeah, Stroman's off to a great start.
DeGrom's
Taijuan Walker's been good. Trevor May, Chris Rose rotation. What are the other stories of baseball right now? Braves were doing kind of bad, and Acuna got nicked up last night.
Yeah, we touched on the Mariners. They took 2 out of 3 from Houston this weekend. I'm looking at Talking Baseball sheet, which actually is kind of helpful. But.
Yeah, Talking Baseball at noon after this.
Braves their offense exploded last night. So
yeah, that's exciting.
They have a nice taste in their mouths going into the Yankee series when kind of the one positive I was taken away back on the Yankees was that they're facing the Braves, and Braves fans think they're kind of playing as bad as they can right now, which they sort of were. Now they're feeling good and done with the Yankees for this episode.
Acuna Jr. is leading the league in home runs with 7. Then there's 4 guys with 6. Eduardo Escobar, Ryan McMahon, Tyler Naquin, and Wilson Ramos. So
the exact guys you'd guess.
Do what you want with that. RBI, which used to be valued a lot more. JD Martinez leading baseball in RBI. How about that? Walks, that's what everyone cares about.
So good.
Joey Gallo leading in walks. Classic.
Like that.
Freddie Freeman, 2. Robbie Grossman, 3. Laureano leading in steals. What other stats do we care about? Batting average? Like, not really. Brandon Nimmo off to a really good start. Mets fans, let me know about Nimmo. Like, I know you guys like him. I've heard the defense is bad in center field, but I don't know.
Does that mean he'd be a good corner
so
guy
are,
somewhere?
so are the Yanks. I don't even know what defense is anymore. Like I feel brainwashed. But like who is Brandon Nimmo? I know he's a great on base percentage guy. But right now he's hitting for batting average too. That's really cool. The Yermin Mercedes train keeps rolling. He hit another homer. Vladito is hitting 389.
Buxton's still good. Looks like it.
Yeah. Hosmer, 344. Huge.
Hosmer's cool.
Yanks stink. Javi Baez, what's up, man? Leading the league in strikeouts right now. He just swings at a lot of bad pitches. 27 strikeouts, 1 walk. It's weird.
He's, and all things, exactly 100 OPS plus. Still kind of good. Better
Still
than
average.
the last couple of years.
4 home runs. I'll get some pitching stats, and then we'll hop around to other
Look at
starts.
some arms.
DeGrom is gross. Going to be talking about him on Talking Baseball. Unreal.
Big game for Aaron Nola yesterday.
Glass now gross. Corbin Burns gross. Michael Pineda off to a nice start. How about that?
Nice.
Good job, Twins. Steven Matz pitching well in Toronto. That's pretty wild. Baseball's sick, man. Plouffi's been on this, but he hasn't depicted it perfectly. It's a lot easier to be a pitcher right now. Like back in the day, you could throw 96, but if you couldn't locate it and you didn't really know how to spin it, like you still weren't going to be a good pitcher. If you have the talent, they've got cameras and numbers and metrics they can use to make you good, pretty much. You kind of can't do that with hitters because you don't know where the ball is going to be. Pitchers, you control that.
You can make just one little tweak here. I mean, and yes, that happens with batters, but it can be a deliberate thing. I'm not phrasing it well.
Yeah. Baseball's going to change soon. And I mean, we're going to be in the forefront of it.
Great start.
Who?
John Means.
John Means. Drop that changeup, kid.
Garrett Cole has over one WAR, and the Yankees have 5 wins, so he's one of them.
Yeah. God, Garrett Cole has been 1/5 of the Yankees. How about it? That's baseball. You guys know a little bit of a baseball company. We're doing Talking Baseball coming up. No Trevor Plouffe today. Whoops. Booted with his beautiful family. So yeah, we'll deep dive into more of that coming up. What's going on in the NBA, BBD? I feel like we've been kicking up with our Knicks a lot. New Talking Knicks episode ad.
The Knicks are on a 6-game winning streak, and they're like, it like actually is. We kind of got to talk about it.
There's part of me that I know it's an internet joke, but like energy's real, and I think the Knicks may have thrown things off kilter. And I think I might be willing to make a Knicks sacrifice on that. But the Knicks are playing well, man. They're fun.
Really,
they're everything the Yankees aren't right now. They hustle. They play defense. They like each other. They have fun.
They make the plays they need to when it counts. They had that little skid. They lost like 5 of 6, and it was like maybe 3 of the most like heartbreaking losses of the year.
Yeah.
And we're starting to think, okay, I mean, if they don't make the playoffs, not the end of the world, which like still in my brain, yes,
right.
But as a fan base, they've now won 6 in a row again. Not again, it's the first time it's happened in a while. But they're back. It's like, no. They want to be in the playoffs. They're 5 games above 500. 4, 31 and 27.
Them and the Celtics are on 6-game win streaks, battling for kind of the middle of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Yeah,
it's still a big slop from, I mean, even, from 4 to 8.
Yeah.
Big slop.
It's all
Pacers not far behind.
It's all tied in there, and yeah, that the only thing that still makes me nervous is that 8-9 playing game. Like if the Knicks end up there, that just feels like a bad time.
I feel like they are kind of the one team that it would suck to be in that one if they're the 8. That'd be brutal.
Yeah.
To finally do it.
The Nets, talking Nets, saw Keith this weekend. Was in the suite, him and Joe's, Pinstripe Strong. Those dudes had fun with them. Nets lost to the Heat last night. Katie, he got hurt again. He hurt his quad. I think they banged up. Interested to see.
They've been resting him extra anyway. I don't fully know his deal. I haven't watched a net game in a little bit. I know they had that game against the Sixers last week. That was kind of a big story because they just had Kyrie kind of go out there by himself. And Kyrie's special.
It's gross.
Like Kyrie, he's just like he's a different guy.
Yeah.
And that's still, and it kind of can only happen in basketball like that, or I guess it can happen with quarterbacks too in football. But it's just like who he is as a guy, like completely blocks people's view on him as like a player, and also like people. He's not a bad guy by any means. Just like he's a weirdo, which is fine.
Does his own thing.
He does not care what anyone else thinks. That's cool. Like
he
stands up for like good causes.
Yeah, no, he does a lot of great stuff. It's and I think there's also he gets to play basketball completely different, but in an awesome way. Like you watch the way he can dribble and drive and shoot. He is
legitimately one of the best handles of all time.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
He nasty. Sixers, Nets, Bucks, Hawks, Celtics, Knicks, Heat, Hornets, Pacers, Raptors. What happened, man? Bizarre.
They're a team that I feel like only goes on streaks.
Yeah.
I think they started off kind of bad, but then they got like an 8-game win streak or something. They're so weird. Boucher is a nice piece.
Ooh.
But Oregon might stink.
Oregon, go Ducks. In the West, Jazz, Suns, Clips, Nuggets, Lakers, Trailblazers. My God, if the Nuggets get the Lakers in the first round. And they just lost Jamal Murray. That's sad.
The Jazz just lost Donovan Mitchell. I think he's okay. Like, he's going to be back.
Okay, but hurt.
Just an ankle sprain, but it looked ugly. I don't know if you've seen the play.
I have not.
It was last week.
Trailblazers, Mavs, Grizzlies. NBA still kind of 1 month left of regular season. See if we get the weird 8-9 thing. I say weird because it's new. Steph Curry's the man. I forget if was that last episode on here?
We talked about it at some point recently. He's so good. Oh, yeah, because I think last Wednesday night he dropped 40.
The Clay. Yeah. He wants to beat Clay's record. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And it looks like they have their 10 in the West, barring like a pretty big surge from either the Pelicans or Kings.
Pels or Kings?
They're 3 and 5 games out respectively. And the Kings, I think, stink.
Okay.
They're capable of they've had like a 10-game winning streak this year, so they could do that again.
I'm into that.
Probably not. They're bad.
I think the Rangers are playing well. Hockey talk. Back to you guys in the booth. There's a lot of soccer today. And I do think this is interesting just from the sports world. And sports business is interesting to me to a degree because it does dictate a lot of sports. The actual sports and playing will always run the world for me. One of the sports business journals that did an article on us, like the guy that wrote it, tweeted out this morning, because if you haven't heard, the soccer, like, prestigious programs are trying to start a super league. That's literally the name of it. And it's pretty wild because, I mean, you're starting to talk big business and, like, these teams and organizations that are getting involved. But, man, it is chaos right now. So I'll give you what I know, and if the chats wants to fill in the blanks, Oh, but that guy tweeted out, like, I don't really care about the Super League, but I'd love to see the TV, like, bidding war on it. And I was like, I mean, my brain doesn't jump there, but hey, you do sports business, so I'm happy for you. So basically, they came up with a Super League. Man United, Juventus, Juventus? Real Madrid, AC Milan, Tottenham. Like, if you're a loose soccer fan, like, these are the teams you know. And it's crazy, man. The other 14 Premier League clubs are holding an emergency press conference. I mean, it's pure chaos. Like, I'm trying to think of what would the comparison even be. It would be like, I don't know. American sports kind of don't have it. It would be.
It just doesn't. It doesn't like work.
It'd be the top.
The same.
It'd be the top 10 NBA teams saying we're just gonna do our own league, and like screw everyone else.
Is that so? Is it that like they're leaving their leagues and starting this one? 'Cause, I mean, soccer has like the million different leagues
Right.
and stuff, so that's why it like lends itself to that. Or is this like they're doing a one-off tournament?
So
you're the one telling me this exists.
I
so.
believe, and again, I'm open to corrections, and this is wild. This is kind of why we're talking about it. But here's the quote. By bringing together the world's greatest clubs and players to play each other throughout the season, the Super League will open a new chapter for European football, ensuring world-class competition, facilities, financial support, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I think basically they're trying to become the number one league. Like, there's UEFA Cup and there's stuff like that. I mean, they literally named it Super League, which that's kind of dumb, but good. We are the Super League. But yeah, people are freaking out. So like the International Soccer Confederation or whatever it is, because everyone's in cahoots besides the new superpowers. Like they said, if any player plays in one of those leagues, they're going to be banned from international competition. Like they can't play with their national team. And it's just a real push come to shove because these guys don't make a ton of money playing with their national teams. So now you're putting like country versus money. It's wild. It's wild. So if you think you're into that, like the UEFA press just came out and called all these teams snakes. It is good drama. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. Also, I mean, obviously not a huge soccer company over here, but Jose Mourinho got fired and all of my soccer buddies were pissed off because they hate him and they've wanted him fired for a while, and they hate that it got buried in this soccer news cycle of the Super League.
Finally happened.
So I'm saying it. Marino gets sacked. It sounded like Marino. Dan Marino. So okay. So, I mean, biggest soccer segment so far. How about that? So interested to see. I mean, it's something to watch if you're a sports fan. Because guess what? Every other leagues are going to watch it and be like, I don't know. Try to learn what they can from it so that maybe there's another Super League of another sport one day. Chaos. If you're a soccer fan, I'm sorry. And yeah, I do think as I sit here as American as possible and I'm like, the Super League, yeah, they're getting the great teams together and they're doing this, that, and the other, and boom, hour, man. I think this is cutting to the core of like, you know, very real life soccer fans. Like the whole Premier League thing is, you know, every team kind of has a chance to have a special year and, you know, make their town proud. And they're kind of like taking that away. So, pretty wild. That was an odd update for me, if anything else. I think that's the sports. Is there any other big sports that needs to be mentioned?
Oh, an NFL draft's coming.
NFL draft coming.
Not exactly news there.
We're going to have some fun with that. College basketball, guys are transferring left and right. It's chaos. It's like It's good for the kids. It's bad for the game at this point, so I don't really know what you do there. BBD, I want to keep moving on because I've got good news for the people, and it's involving the comment of the day. Bakers, you guys are goated. 303 reviews on the podcast app. And the reviews are really nice, man. Special stuff by ODB Ama. Jake and producer BBD up you with bi-weekly on the Sports World, tackling a wide variety of content, soccer. They're unbiased New York sports fans bringing a different perspective on the most up-to-date sports topics.
Whoa.
It's pretty goddamn nice. Next one. Man, oh snap, it's lit, BBD. Lots of French history in this pod, and somehow Brother Jacob splices it seamlessly with intrinsic geometry. The listener is left gleefully dizzy and better for having dared to download. Huzzah.
Oh, snap. That was lit.
So, I mean, that one was a little more all over the board. This another really nice one from Gavin M345. Wake and Jake allows me to basically use John Boy Media as my one-stop shop for sports content. Bang. Bang.
And we just got monetized on YouTube, so if you're watching, now the show stops and you get some ads sometimes. So thanks, guys.
Sorry about it. Fayao, who's always with us, left a really nice comment. Remember how SportsCenter used to be. Jamie J. Isaac. So you guys are the best. The podcast, the Facebook gang. And even the comments. There's a couple YouTube comments from last episode. Best morning sports show. Elijah, bang, you're the man. And then Tobias Allman, who's here a lot, said in 2019 I drafted Christian Vasquez and Liam Hendricks, and I would like to say my belief in the two of them caused them to be great. So, yeah. I mean, you have to believe in that. You did that. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone live in the chat right now. Serena, Al, Kieran, Jamie, Jeremy, Micah. You guys are the absolute best. Love talking some sports with you guys. Excited to see where the sports gods leads us next. We had no-hitter week last week. All the good stuff. Thank you guys so much. Keep baking the algorithm. Leave a like, leave a review, leave a comment, share with a buddy. I think we're at 179 on the tube now. Subscribers, 2K, 10K, 1 million. BBD, let's do the bro of the night. And I love yours, so I will let you operate.
If you want them, you can have them. I have a backup.
No. You got it. Story's great.
Taking with my bro of the night, Sean Kazmar. I don't know if I'm saying that right because I didn't get to watch the broadcast, but it's just the coolest story. He comes up because I think Albies is banged up, right? Or was. It's his first. This guy's 36. His first time playing in an MLB game since 2006,
2008.
And so it's the longest jump, the biggest gap in major league appearances while still playing. He didn't take a year off at any point or anything. Just really cool, really inspiring stuff. Kids, all that.
I mean, he's 36. He has spent the last...
He got 19 games in the show when he was 23 years old.
He spent
12 years.
He spent the last 7 years in Gwinnett, the Braves AAA team. 7 years, man. That's insane. And he came out. He had an incredible spring training this year, and people were, having fun with that. But, yeah, man, I mean, he got a taste of the show in 2008. Let's get... You know what, BBD? Let's get that 2008 Padres roster out here. Because holy smokes. Holy smokes. Let's get some names for you guys. So let's see. Shortstop, Khalil Green. At third base, Kevin Kuzminoff. Brian Giles was in right field.
Their starting rotation was Jake Peavy, 42-year-old Greg Maddux, Randy Wolf, Chris Young.
Greg Maddux is incredible. 42-year-old Greg Maddux. That's insane.
Awesome.
You know who was on that team as a hitter for a little bit, BBD? We got a couple guys who are, whoa. Jim Edmonds jumps out just for different reasons. Tony Clark, your MLB PA head, was on that team. So since those guys were playing baseball, know who the closer was? Trevor Hoffman. 40-year-old Trevor Hoffman.
Think about was their setup guy.
Think about how long it feels since Greg Maddux played baseball. And this guy's been in the minor leagues since then. I mean, kudos to his support staff and family and all those people, man. Because holy crap. Like, to make things full circle, we talked about the Yankees and how lackluster they look like. We do forget these dudes love baseball. You know, they really do. They've dedicated their lives to it. And like Sean Kazmir, I don't think you can tell him you like baseball more than him. I don't know if anyone can.
Yeah.
You know?
Do what he did. Yeah. Wade LeBlanc got in 5 games for that team.
Wade LeBlanc. Been mentioning him a lot lately.
Yeah. Name stuck out.
Been mentioning him a lot lately. BBD, that was beautiful. I started talking a lot, so if there's anything else you'd like to say, but...
No, I've got a guy I might want to bruh as well.
Okay, do it.
Zion.
Ooh.
Don't say nice things about wanting to play in New York. You broke my
Yeah.
brain, man.
Yeah,
Don't do that to me. Done.
that's tough. Yeah, I saw... Yeah, no, that's fair. Can't say that.
The throw in, like, well, besides New Orleans, of course, I would say New York is probably my favorite city to play in.
Yeah. Zion, come through, bro. Let's do it. BBD, I do have a bro of the night. Was Zion your other one? Mm-hmm. Zion was your 2? Okay. My bro of the night, and we're going to cover the wide world of sports a little more. I'm going golf. Stuart Sink. A hilarious name.
It's a great name.
Stuart Sink. It's a really low-key good golf name, too. Sink, like sink the shot. Stuart Sink is 47 years old. He won this weekend's golf tournament. One of the most unbelievable head tans you will ever see.
Oh, that's that guy.
Yes. We tweeted it out from John Boy Media. If you can snag it, BBD, I know I didn't prep you for this, so that's on me. Stuart Sink was like a really good golfer in his prime. Like he was in the mix in a lot of tournaments. And I don't know. I know a lot of our fan base is younger. And I'm 31 now. You know, if I need to make a play in the outfield, I can still make it. But I'm not athletic anymore. And I think like 3 years ago, I would have said I'm still kind of athletic. Stuart Sink's 47. 47, and he just beat like a lot of the best golfers in the world. And man, golfers make bank, dude. Stuart Sink's making a lot of money these years. So I don't know. I want to give him love. He's got a hilarious name. He's a good dude from everything I know. And you've never seen someone take off their hat. It looks like it was painted. Looks like his head was painted. I mean, that looks unreal. That looks like you and I got together before this show and said, like, let's screw with everyone and lie about this golfer. I mean,
That is jarring.
that's unreal. So, Stewart Cink, for A, winning a golf tournament at age 47, and B, having one of the best hat tans I have ever seen. That's how you get Bro of the Night. Stewart Cink and Sean Kazmer. That's sports. That's sports. BBD, last fake final segment. What we're watching tonight. No Yankees, so we're not watching
Yanks,
that.
That's huge. I mean, the Sox kicking off 20 minutes ago.
Red Sox have just started, so if you're looking to distract yourself today, golly, I guess it's baseball tonight. Woodruff versus Musgrove. That's a fun Brewers-Padres game if you're up late night tonight.
I'm giving...
Our friend Jack Flaherty is pitching against Joe Ross, who's off to a really good start this season. Sink your teeth into some Cards Nats if that does it for you.
If you're looking for the basketball Warriors Sixers tonight,
Ooh,
that's
like
on
that.
that's on Espen.
okay, I like that.
Late night you get Jazz Lakers, but I don't think anyone's back yet for the Lakers, so
Tuesday night, Nets Pels, Clippers Trailblazers. If you're into that kind of thing. It's baseball season, man. It's baseball season. And we're all tracking what goes on with the Super League. So watch out for that. Guys, thank you. So much stuff on the John Boy Media Network. Pinstripe Strong with the new episode. Talking Knicks with the new episode. Talking baseball coming up in a minute. Sad Boy talking Yanks. John Boy Jake TV. We're always watching. Is that what we're listening to up there? I love that. Chris Rose Rotation. The Glassnow Brothers. The Glassnow Brothers. So much other stuff, guys. Maybe a stats video? Who knows? Breakdowns. Thank you, guys. Subscribe. I love you. Going live with Chris Rose right now. If you want to come over there, let's go. Let's get it. Spaghetti and meatballs.